Happy 9th birthday, guide dog Sammy.
That's right. It's hard to believe that my guide dog, who I qualified with more than 7 years ago, is now 9 years old. But look at him. He's working brilliantly as we walk down the road. Good boys.
We're taking a walk to Costa Coffee, which is a route that we do all the time.
If you look here now, we're recording the voice track afterwards, but guide dog Sammy is following guide dog Marty, and he keeps his distance. Like, you'll notice that he's walking slightly to the left and behind, because Marty likes to be slightly ahead, doesn't he?
He does. He loves to be top dog.
Good lad.
Good boy.
Yay. So what we thought we'd do today is to take you on this walk with us, just really to illustrate what our guide dogs do for us. Sammy is my third guide dog. All being well, he'll work with me through till November of 2022, and he'll be my longest working guide dog.
Marty is my third guide dog, and I trained with my first guide dog back in 2003, and that does seem like a lifetime ago.
Nice distance, aren't they? Now, what I want people to do as they're watching, beyond subscribing to Blind Girl Vlogs, because this is Siobhan's channel, she does all sorts of vlogging about blind issues and all sorts of techs and hacks and all that stuff. I want you to just notice as we head down towards the park, just the amount of drive and excitement there is with both of the guide dogs walking together. They love working. You'd never get a dog to work if they didn't want to, right?
That's true. But I think more to the point, they're really excited because they know there's a park there, and the park is a really good opportunity for them to let their hair down.
Happy birthday, Sammy. Happy birthday.
Now, can I just point out that we both are trained with white sticks?
That's right. We could walk this precise route. We do walk this precise route without the dogs for a variety of reasons. So, for instance, if we go to the chiropractors, which we do every 6 weeks, the dogs really don't like that, do they? So we end up doing this route. But it takes us, what would you say? I'd say it takes us 3-4 times longer.
Definitely. It took me 24 minutes the other day when I did it with the cane independently.
Cracking. Well, we're walking down to the park now, and I should say that, you know, people free run their dogs. It's called free running and environmental enrichment. They do it, you know, at different frequencies, don't they?
Yeah, it depends on the dog. It depends on the partnership. For me, I try and do it as often as I can because I know that it doesn't impact Marty's work. If it started impacting his work, then I would obviously look at that. But I think it's really important to free run your dog as often as possible.
So we won't film the entire run. After all, we are doing a walk, but they are loving it. Yay!
Yeah,
good boys. Yeah, you'd like a treat. Happy birthday, Sammy!
Look at Marty. He can't get to the park quick enough.
Okay, I don't wait. You didn't tell me. Then it's Sammy's turn, and they couldn't be more excited if they tried. Good boy. I didn't have the handle up. Good boys.
Good boys.
Good boys. And we're going to let the dogs off for a little runny run. Yay! Ready? Sammy. Yay! Just a short run for them, and off we head now down across the road to, this is called Letchmore Road, but you can kind of see it's quite a quiet road today, but there are vehicles about that we're listening for.
Yeah, generally it's quite busy depending on the time of day, but usually it's really busy in the mornings. But because there's no school, because it's summer holidays, it's fairly quiet, so we're going to make our way over the road.
Let's just quickly cover off one of the myths as well, because people say, oh, how does a guide dog know when it's safe to cross the road? Truthfully, they don't necessarily. They have the mental traffic age of a 3-year-old child. They are trained, if you tell them to walk out and there's a car coming, to ignore it, and that's called intelligent disobedience. But ultimately, we take responsibility, don't we? And how do we decide?
It's up to us, so we have to listen out for the traffic and we have to assess that to make sure that it's safe. And if we deem it safe to go, then we'll instruct the dog to go. But obviously if there's a car coming, the dog will ignore that.
Hop up. Yay! I want you to pay attention to guide dog Sammy here and Marty. You'll see, although Sammy's 9, he's working in this instance like he's a puppy. I'm at the point now where if I'm doing 15-hour days and I've worked 6 days a week, the last couple of weeks, although it didn't happen, I was told I was deployable to public order situations for my work. I thought, well, it's probably not safe to have him in that environment. So he's working most of the time, but very occasionally I'm going in with a cane of doom, as I call it. But there's nothing wrong with the cane, is there?
No, and I think it's important. I've always said this, and I'll stress again that it's really important to keep your cane skills up, because you're always going to fall back on the cane if the dog is sick, or if you're not able to take the dog in different environments, like Sean has just said, like being deployed to public orders. Then you don't want to be putting your dog in that position.
Now, look, I just want you to pay that attention to the dogs. They're enjoying their work. They're walking down, waggling their little tails. So Sammy, he will work. I'm hoping he will work through to November of 2022. But it's just down to me to be a little bit sensible. So whereas when he was younger, we'd take him and go on walks for 10 miles just on a recreational walk, for instance, we're mindful of not doing that too often at the moment, right? Even though we do walk a good 70 miles a week.
Yeah, we do. However, like you say, I think it's important to know your dog, know what they're able to do. And obviously he's 9 years old, so it's really important not to kind of overdo it.
Yeah.
Can I just fit in here? I'm Blind Girl Vlogs, Siobhan, and if you like this content, subscribe.
That's right, many more videos here. Now we're walking down Grove Road, and I'll just explain, if anybody's watching this and they're listening, if it's not obvious, then we recorded just our work with a GoPro, and we're recording afterwards using voiceover kit, right? Is that fair to say?
It is definitely fair to say.
And we're actually in our living room when we're recording this.
Yeah.
But this is Grove Road that you're watching now on screen. Now, what I like about this road is I've worked all of my 3 guide dogs down this road. So there was Brandy, who I qualified with in August 1999. Then Chip, who I qualified with in December 2006. And of course, it's Sammy I qualified with in June, or I think technically my qualification was July in 2014. Doesn't it seem like yesterday?
It seems like yesterday. Oh my gosh, where have those years gone?
What's your naughtiest Sammy story?
Okay, my naughtiest Sammy story would be when he ate my professional, really expensive makeup.
Oh, you were thrilled.
I was so thrilled. I'd literally only just got it. It was about £40. Yeah, for this tiny little pot of makeup, and it was... yeah, not his finest moment.
It was his finest moment. It tasted delicious. Now, can I just say as well that one thing you might be noticing, Marty is 4 and Sammy is 9, okay? 9 years old. But they're working, they're doing exactly the same sort of thing. They've got a slightly different position on the pavement, but they're doing the same thing. Why is that?
It's basically standard training. So they're all taught the same things, to walk on the left-hand side usually, and they know the same commands. And Marty and Sammy they are really good at working together in tandem as well. It did take a few months since I qualified with Marty to actually work them together. But now look at them. They're just in their groove.
Now, if you're watching this and you're thinking, okay, how could I apply for a guide dog or someone I know? You can go to guidedogs.org.uk where you can find out more information. A guide dog's not right for everybody, and I was joking about the cane of doom earlier, but actually there's nothing wrong with a cane at all. I would say the difference is, whereas a guide dog is an object avoider, with a cane you're literally touching everything, so it's an object finder.
Yeah, that's what I found when using the cane. It was, for me, I'm glad that I did build up the skills and I used the skills, because obviously waiting for a guide dog, it was so important for me to maintain that independence and that confidence. So it did take me a little while to build up where I'm coming from in terms of my own mobility, but it's so important to keep it up for many, many reasons.
And one of the things people talk about an awful lot is that the eligibility for a guide dog did change a couple of years ago. But as you're watching now, the key way that it's changed is that guide dogs as an organisation will make sure that people are supported to be able to do routes like this one of many routes, so that you have the confidence to get out with a guide dog and you're able to do so safely. So for instance, you might get supported to do that with training with a white stick along cane. You might get trained and partnered as part of My Sighted Guide partnership, right?
Yeah, there's lots of different ways that guide dogs can support somebody living in the community. So there's lots of different ways. Your cane might not be for you at the time, so we can look at My Sighted Guide, who can enable you to be able to get out and do the things that you wouldn't otherwise be able to do with someone who is trained to support someone who is blind or visually impaired.
You can find out more about all of these services at guidedogs.org.uk.
Good boy, Sammy.
What about that question every guide dog owner seems to get? How does a guide dog know where they're going?
It's a good question, I think, because watching this, if you didn't know any better, you might think, well, the dogs seem to know exactly where they're going. They don't actually. We learn the routes with the dogs, and they call that patternation. We condition the dogs, essentially, as I guess handler is now the parlance we would use, to know where they're going. But we've both learnt this route right, haven't we?
Yeah, we have. And that's one of the first routes that I did with my previous guide dog, Mac, because it's actually quite an easy route from my house to the old town.
Gonna find the coffee.
Here we are then at Costa Coffee. They found it. Look how happy they are, because like it's a game to them. They've done exactly what they need to do. So in we go. And what are the dogs doing as we're drinking our coffee?
The dogs are laying down by our feet, relaxed, chilled, and very good, wouldn't you say?
And that means that we can drink our cuppers. Absolutely delicious. Thanks for watching. Happy 9th birthday to Guide Dog Sammy. Thank you to Guide Dogs for giving us the independence that we enjoy. And people can find out more on the website
guidedogs.org.uk.